Wel- Welcome back. This is episode 5 now. And I just wanted to give, two quick updates. So the first update is I reached out to some of the religious experts that um, I mentioned in the last episode that I would do, and I have not yet received any responses for that. Um, but the second thing that the second thought that I had was um, I was having some personal problems in my life. Few days like right now it's nighttime and I have a meeting for my work tomorrow, and I haven't done the work that I need to do, and so it's late. It's almost midnight here, and so I won't sleep for many hours probably, and then I'll have to wake up really early and cram tomorrow, and so I was sort of in a very negative headspace for today, and it's kind of interesting because whenever I'm in those like really stressful or dark times, which happens pretty often, unfortunately, because I deal with like all these, I guess, personal vices. Um, and especially procrastination just makes my life so difficult. Because I always leave my work to the very last minute, and I just get more and more anxious and more stressed right before the deadline. And then it's always just really intense up into the last few days before a big deadline. So I've had these situations a lot, and what I often find is that when I'm like very stressed like that, I become more um my thoughts become more clear, and there's almost something about suffering that just forces you to focus on what's actually important. And so that kind of happened a bit today as well. Like it's been miserable. It's been actually like pretty dark, but I've also kind of maybe seen um something. So I kind of talked earlier about, faith being taking like those few religious experiences that you've had, and um and hanging on to that revelation, if you want to call it that, that you received during those religious experiences through the ups and downs of life, ordinary life, hanging on to that, and hanging on to that which you you were utterly convinced of when you were having that religious experience through your day-to-day life, and letting it inform your behavior and your actions more and more to the best of your ability. I think that could be a great definition of faith. And I was just thinking also of another um, philosophy, which is pragmatism. Um, I think a lot of what was driving this desire to seek after, um, like to clarify, to ground my faith in God, and to build up a life philosophy that I can live by. A lot of what was motivating that was to have the foundation from which I can begin to fix or tackle my life, to know what direction I want to move in, and then move in that direction. But but pragmatism is an interesting philosophy, because I think it essentially says that, um, so part of it is that you are morally obligated to believe the things that you need to believe to survive, um, and to move forward. And I do think that, um, there is something to be said to that the religious journey requires taking certain actions. So in your day-to-day life for revelation. So for example, I've had a lot of maybe these religious experiences while running. If I had not run, if I had not gone running, then I wouldn't have had these experiences with the insights that they brought. So there could be something to the idea that you need to act in the world. So you get some insights. It doesn't have to be a complete picture. It doesn't have to be a complete coherent life philosophy for you to begin moving forward. You can sort of do both things at once. So on the one side, you're developing your ideas about and trying to make them coherent and debating them and making sure that they're robust. But on the other side, you're also um, you allow mysticism, you allow the mystery, and you operate in the world um, as best as you can. And so they're kind of two parallel tracks almost. Actually, now that I come to think about it, I was remembering like when C.S. Lewis in Pilgrim's Regress, and he had, I think it was John and Virtue, and they were always walking together. And so they're going on like the same journey, but they're doing different things. So you had John was sort of like the individual. John was like the person, your person in the realm of thought, where he was tackling the ideas, you know, and seeing, developing that like life philosophy. He was interested always in like the perspectives of the different characters that they met along the way, and um, trying to find his island. Whereas Virtue was the pragmatist. He wasn't really interested in the ideas that people had. He was just interested in doing his, 20 miles a day on the road. Um, and, but they were best friends and they walked together on the road. And I think I have to be the same as well. There's John would be maybe I can I can do it through this podcast, and I can I hope that I can be able to engage with these religious questions in ever greater depth and make real progress, God willing, make real progress in understanding what is true and in finding the actual truth to live by so that my life is meaningful, so that I don't waste my life on things that are pointless in the end. But then, beside this, I also have the life of virtue, where I try to. Hmm, so, what is virtue trying to do? Well, I guess I would be trying to do right by myself, trying to live my life so that people, good people, would admire me, or would I would at least I should live my life in such a way that good people would admire me, or I should live my life so that I can make God proud of me. Hmm. Well, actually, yeah, I'm still not quite sure. Like overall, like the overarching idea behind like living the like the virtue side of the equation. Like what in terms of like what is the objective, and is it just, to graduate as soon as possible? Is it to hike the Appalachian Trail? Is it um to get a job in um that's more about like generative AI? That was one other goal that I kind of had. Um yeah, I mean, I am kind of stuck on that, but maybe I mean, I am a little confused, but I don't have to have it. That's the thing for virtue. You don't have to have it completely figured out. You can just pick a few things that you can change, that you would change, and change them. Um, I think I can say some sort of prayer in the morning every day. That really shouldn't be that hard. And that's something small that I can do that I think would have a positive impact on my day. It would be almost consecrating the day. Um, so I think I should do that. And also I should try to fix my eating schedule and take more care of my body in terms of what I eat, and be able to take care of myself more. And I should reduce the amount of useless material that I consume on YouTube. That's also not helping me in any way, and I think it doesn't make me very happy over the long term. And I should try to be less isolated somehow. And yeah, I think if I did those things, I would be a lot happier. Um, and I should narrow my focus a little bit. Um, I think I'll put the Appalachian Trail. I think I'll put that hike on hold for now. I think my first objective should be to graduate by May. Um, and so I really need to be all in on that and really focused to get that done. So the Appalachian Trail can wait till later. This is, I think, the priority for right now. Um, but yeah, so I guess for virtue, I kind of like to be more concrete. Also, I think I'll start seeing a therapist. Um, I think a therapist can really help me because the problem is I have so many issues and they're all sort of intertwined, and it's really hard to figure out what to tackle first, or how I can improve or get better. Um, so I think having a therapist guide me through this will be very helpful. I tried to reach out to uh, the Catholic priests that were here, but I don't think they can really help me, to be honest. They seem kind of dismissive. So yeah, it's kind of sad. Uh, it's like over the years, I've just become so hopeless about my ability to change. When I was young, I'd have like this. I'd think about this image, and I would tell God, like, if you appear to me, you can just tell me where I can find you, or and if you told me that to dig to the center of the earth, I'll start digging, and I'll get there. I really thought that I could control my character, you know, but it's I've learned the really hard way that I guess that I guess I've learned sin, um, that I'm a sinful man, that I guess that's what I learned. But oh God, I really want to change. Actually, I wish there was some way that I could change. But I'll listen to this therapist, and I swear, I swear I'll do my absolute best to follow their advice and to push as hard as I can to do to follow their advice and to push my life in a better direction. You know, I'm I may never be perfect, and I hope I can make major changes in my life and improve in a very serious way. But even if I don't, I think I at least owe it to God and to myself to go down fighting, you know, to not accept my vices, but to at least try to change them, try seriously. But I earnestly and honestly pray that somehow I can actually change and be better. So we'll see. But I think for right now, I'll just focus on, I'll just meet this therapist. Tomorrow, I have my first scheduled meeting, and I'll meet them and then decide what to do after that. Um, and I'll make a little video also to discuss things in more detail. Um, so for right now, I'll just hold off until I meet this therapist tomorrow, and and I'll hold off also on the Appalachian Trail trip. Um, I'll postpone it till after I graduate, and maybe I'll also put in my schedule to pray for 5 minutes in the morning. I think I can do at least that. 5 minutes is really not a long time. If I'm serious about this whole religion thing, then I mean, this is sort of a way that I can prove that I'm taking it seriously, you know? And I think there is no negatives, to doing this, and potentially a lot of positives. So I'll do that too. Um, all right, that's pretty much it. So with that, I'll call it good night. It's now past midnight. So I think it's time for me to go to bed. And then tomorrow we'll wake up and figure things out. All right, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.